Shalom, call Halayim Wahawad, La Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, Basham Kakwadash. The abundance to the elder apostles at Great Millstone, rule well. Excuse me. Also, honors and salutations to you, Akim, all my fellow laborers out there doing this work. Shalom to the Fuak Waf that believe, listen, and learn. To all I say, Shalom to you. This is an article from RTnews.com. It's entitled NATO Preparing for War, Russia Claims. And, I'm not going to make this video long. I got a few precepts I'm going to hit, kind of want to hit the point and get in and out, because those of us that are observing the prophecies, we watch the news consistently and wait upon prophecies, prophecies to manifest themselves, and more you see prophecy coming to pass. All right, I'll read this real quick. Ecclesiastes 39:1 says, "But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient, and be occupied in prophecies." So, this is what we do. We occupy ourselves in prophecy. All right, and one of the prophecies, one of the prophecies that are brewing as I speak is the third woe. All right, the third woe, which this is pretty much going into that third woe as far as the tension between NATO and Russia. And you notice I've been saying in all the videos pertaining to this subject matter about how diplomacy is going out the window. All right, the Most High is brewing up tension between Gog and Magog. All right, which Gog is, look up the geographical location of Gog and Magog. Clearly, you see is Russia. All right, Gog is Russia, man, and we know that America, all right, so-called America, is Babylon the Great. All right, the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Right. All right, the capital of confusion. All right, so as we move day by day, week by week, tensions are getting high. All right, NATO have sent roughly 10,000 troops over to Ukraine. Russia made a hard line, and now every top Russian military brass is pretty much up in arms with words and preparing physically, all right, their military might. All right, so it says the U.S.-led military bloc's posturing has fueled Russian fears of conflict. Excuse me. It says the picture right here shows, it says NATO tanks fire during the night shooting demonstration at Iron Spear 2021 military exercise in Dazi training grounds, Latvia. And that was dated October 20th of this year, which was a couple months back. It says, continuing the article, it says, speaking during a briefing for military addicts and other foreign diplomats in Moscow on Monday, Russian Deputy Defense Minister Alexander Fomin accused NATO of readying up for an all-out war with Russia. It says the military development of the bloc has been redirected in full to prepare for a large-scale, high-intensity armed conflict with Russia, Fomin said, or stated. It says the preparation comes with the expansion of the bloc's military capabilities and is also reflected in NATO's program documents, where Moscow has been unequivocally named as the main source of threats to coalition security, Foreman noted. At the same time, older documents, including the 2002 Rome Declaration, establishing that Russia and NATO do not regard each other as adversaries, remain in force, he added. The persistently cold relations between Russia and the U.S.-led alliance have gotten even worse in recent months. In October, Moscow said it would suspend all direct ties with NATO, shutting down its offices in Moscow in response to the expulsion of 8 Russian diplomats from its Brussels headquarters. At the time, Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said the bilateral channels were used by the bloc for whipping up propaganda and putting pressure on Russia instead of meaningful dialogue. You know, you notice every meeting, right? Every meeting, it's it's a what do you call it? Emergency meeting. But once these meetings are over, nothing is settled. All right, the intense or tensions increase more and more. All right, that's the spirit of the Mossad stirring up. All right, Gog. All right, and stirring up, or puffing up the U.S.-led alliance, which is NATO. All right, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. See, nothing is going to reverse. All right, things are going to get worse and worse. It says early in December, Russian President Vladimir Putin floated the idea of a comprehensive, legally binding security deal with the West. The suggestion has already materialized into 2 draft documents, one for the U.S. and a separate one for NATO as a whole. The proposed agreement envisions a halt to NATO's eastward expansion and contains guarantees on the non-deployment of certain weapons systems in Europe. Pretty much, the U.S. has weaponry in Ukraine. All right, and again, if you don't know, Ukraine, all right, they were speaking about in the news, Ukraine is essentially Russian, right? Most of the people there are Russian. It was a former Soviet state within the USSR, right? And pretty much, the U.S. and NATO have been trying to gain ground by claiming these different lands or countries to get closer and closer to try to encircle the Russian Federation. And now Putin, Vladimir Putin, which is the president of Russia, he said it's it. So this could blow over, man. Matter of fact, I'm gonna read this last part and I'm gonna get to the scriptures. It says, the suggestion has already materialized into 2 draft documents, one for the U.S. and a separate one for NATO as a whole. The proposed agreement envisions a halt to NATO's eastward expansion and contains guarantees on the non-deployment of certain weapons systems in Europe. The draft deal was designed to serve both Russia and NATO, Foreman stated, expressing hopes the blocs will get ready to constructively discuss the security proposal soon enough. And you notice what's going on. Where Russia drew a red line, America, or the U.S.-led coalition, which is NATO, approached the red line. Now Russia is moving its military within its own borders, by the way, but they've moved to the border. All right, and they're preparing to counter NATO attack. Now, Revelation chapter 11, In verse 14, it says, "The second woe is past." Yeah, that's the Second World War. "And behold, the third woe cometh quickly." Right, meaning what? Destruction. Right? And it's talking about the World War III, because in the same book it mentions what? Armageddon, which we know in the Lashwan Kodash, it's Hamagad one, meaning mountain of troops. Right? And we notice, all right, every day that these troops, all right, are constantly being deployed throughout the earth, especially in these key regions, the Middle East, over in Europe, like Ukraine. All right, this Third World War, it's going to be a end all be all war. All right, that third woe, it says it coming quickly. All right, we're in the time of war. All right, in case you people out there don't understand or observe, we're in the time of war. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, starting at verse 1. Let's start at the top. It says, "To everything there is a season, To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born, and a time to die. A time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted. A time to kill, and a time to heal." And we live in that time right now, A time to break down, and a time to build up. A time to weep, and a time to laugh. And right now, you should be weeping, meaning what? Mourning. All right, this same book, it says the heart of the wise is in the house of mourning. You know why? Great destruction is coming upon this place. All right. It says a time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to get and a time to lose. A time to keep and a time to cast away. See, a lot of lives are going to be lost in this World War III. Okay? And we know how catastrophic World War II was. World War II, right, that second woe, I think roughly 75 million lives were lost. Between 75 and 80 million lives were lost. Okay? Roughly. Verse 7, it says, "A time to rend and a time to sow. A time to keep silence and a time to speak." And we're not keeping silence, man. All right? The scriptures say, "They that make mention of the Lord keep not silence." All right? And we're speaking boldly, all right, in righteousness, all right, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. It says a time to love, verse 8, a time to love and a time to hate. A time of war and a time of peace. Now, when you look around the earth in the ecumenic sense, what do you see? What do you see being done year by year? Right, as far as troops are concerned, well, the answer is you've seen an increased, all right, military exercises. So what that tell you, we're in the time of a time of war. All right. Real quick, Matthew 24. I'm gonna go right to the point. Matthew 24 and 6. It says, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. I see that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." And this is one of the signs that our Lord Yahushua gave to his disciples, man. So you fast forward from then to now, roughly 2,000 years later, all right, what are you hearing of? Wars and rumors of wars. And this was pertaining to his coming, his second coming. All right. Excuse me. Because the disciples was wondering what to expect, to know that the signs of the kingdom of heaven was getting ready to be ushered in or be established. All right, when was our Lord going to set up the kingdom of heaven, which is for us Israelites? It wasn't time then. All right, the time is now. And you hear this wars and rumors of wars going on day by day. That's what this whole video about. All right, wars and rumors of war. See. So those of you that are wise, you need to, what the scriptures say, approve the man looking well to his going. So what are you doing? All right. This is Ephesians 5:17. It says, "Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is." All right. And if you understand the scriptures, you understand that we are very well in the time, all right, of this place, Babylon the Great, which is so-called America, is getting ready to be judged. You know that Armageddon is getting ready to happen. All right, the charagma is about to be rolled out. War of the people, all right, race wars. The great insurrection is upon us. Famine, all right, the pestilence, which we're in the midst of a pestilence right now. All right, great evils, all right, lamentation, mournings, and woe. All right, woe is coming. All right, meaning destruction. All right, woe means destruction or in great misery. Right. So this is what to expect, man. Isaiah, the 33rd chapter, and about the 6th verse, says, "In wisdom and well, let's get that. It's very important to know what's going on. If you don't know what's going on, shame on you. All right, maybe the Most High, well, not maybe, but the Most High must got you, all right, slated to be judged. All right, whether it's by one of these plagues or leading up to that second death, which is the missiles. All right, Isaiah 33:6, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh, is his treasure." All right. So you better get the knowledge of wisdom and understanding, all right, while you can. All right, seek the Lord while he may be found. Because real soon he's not going to be found. Once all hell break loose, and Jacob's time of trouble is full on, man. It's fully on. All right. So with that, Lord willing, you're edified in the spirit. Until next time, I say shalom.